Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are tackling a genuinely massive topic today, because the crazy reality is 99% of beginners out there don't actually know the basics of AI. I mean, sure, maybe you've tinkered around with a chatbot or two, but today we're going to catapult you right out of that beginner category. Consider this through a fast-paced crash course into the core mechanics of artificial intelligence in the workplace, completely distilled from Google's new AI Essential scores.
To get straight to the point, taking this course directly through Google usually sets you back $49. But before you reach for your wallet, there's actually a brilliant little workaround. It turns out if you enroll in the Google Project Management certification on Coursera, which, by the way, is widely considered the gold standard for project management across almost any industry, you can actually unlock this AI Essentials course entirely for free. No way, right?
And it's not just about the money, it's about your time. Completing the course takes a solid 5 hours. So think of today's Explainer as a bit of a high-value knowledge heist. We've spent the time, we've dug through the material, and we've extracted the absolute best insights so you don't have to. You are getting the ultimate cheat sheet right here, right now.
All right, Section 1, the AI tool landscape. Okay, let's dive into this. To organize the absolute chaos of the current AI market, we're going to start with our first category, standalone tools. These are AI-powered software applications designed to work completely independently with virtually no setup required. We're talking about your general-purpose chatbots like ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity, or specialized visual apps like Midjourney. Now, obviously, these serve completely different needs. One is writing text, the other is generating wild art, but they're classified together because they are standalone. You go directly to their unique websites or apps, log in, and just start working.
Contrast that with our second category, integrated AI features. These are built-in enhancements living right inside the software you're already using every single day. For example, you could write a draft in Google Docs, copy it, and paste it into a standalone tool like ChatGPT to improve it, or you could just use the integrated Gemini for Workspace feature to tweak that text directly inside your Google Doc. The same goes for creating an image right inside Google Slides instead of jumping all the way over to Midjourney. The AI is baked right into your workflow.
The third category is the one that often intimidates people: custom AI solutions. These are tailor-made applications designed to solve a very specific problem for a specific organization. Hearing the word custom, you might instantly think, oh, this requires deep technical knowledge and crazy coding skills. But actually, scratch that. The reality is the exact opposite. A well-designed custom AI solution is built so that everyday workers need little to no technical know-how to operate it. To show you just how powerful this is, let's look at Johns Hopkins University. They developed a custom AI system with one highly specific goal: detecting sepsis in patients. Before this AI, the diagnostic accuracy was hovering around 2 to 5%. With their custom AI solution, that accuracy rocketed to an average of 40%. It's completely transformative, and it's not just for medicine either. Think about a corporate setting. A sales team managing hundreds of clients can use a custom AI solution that ingests historical data, seasonality, and industry trends to automatically rank which clients need the most attention. It prioritizes the salesperson's time automatically, with zero coding required on their end.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Section 2, the art of prompting.
Now that we know the tools, we really need to talk about how we communicate with them. The absolute golden rule of prompting is this: always surface the implied context. Think about it this way: if your vegetarian friend asks you for a restaurant recommendation, you instinctively know to suggest vegetarian-friendly spots, right? They don't have to explicitly remind you that they don't eat meat. That context is implied because of your relationship. AI tools, however, don't have that relationship with you. They don't know your history, your preferences, or your implied needs unless you explicitly spell them out.
Let's look at a practical workplace example. Imagine you want to use an AI to help you brainstorm negotiation techniques for a big upcoming performance review. If you just type in, "help me negotiate a raise," you are going to get incredibly generic advice. But consider these specific details. You got a 10% increase last year, you're the top performer this year, the industry average is 12%, and your specific goal is a 15% raise. If you leave out all that implied context, the AI literally cannot tailor its strategy to your actual situation. You absolutely have to feed it the details to get high-quality output. Now, what's really interesting about this concept is how we can take prompting a step further using shots. The source material actually uses a pretty hilarious hypothetical analogy about asking an AI to write a Bumble pickup line, which, for the record, the creator firmly stated they do not condone or participate in, but it perfectly illustrates the point. Zero-shot prompting is when you give the AI a prompt with absolutely zero examples. You just ask for the pickup line and hope for the best.
In AI terminology, a shot simply means an example.
If you use one-shot prompting, you might say, write me a pickup line and make it similar to this one successful example. Few-shot prompting means providing 2 or more relevant examples of what success looks like. As you can probably guess, the more relevant examples or shots you provide the AI, the more highly tailored and relevant the output is going to be.
Moving right along. Section 3. Chain of thought strategy.
Getting into advanced execution, this is how you get AI to accomplish complex, multi-layered tasks without the output turning into a disorganized mess. Chain of thought prompting is beautifully simple in theory. It's basically like a giant puzzle. It means dividing a single massive task into a series of smaller, more manageable steps. When you guide a large language model step by step, it has a much easier time producing accurate, highly consistent results compared to when you just ask it to do everything all at once.
A perfect real-world application for this is writing a cover letter. Option 1 is the lazy route. You dump your resume and a job description into the chat and just say, write my cover letter. The result will likely be incredibly generic. But option 2 uses chain of thought. Step 1, you ask it only to write an attention-grabbing hook based on your resume. You review that hook, make a few minor tweaks, and then you feed it back into the bot for step 2, asking it to write the body paragraph based on that approved hook. You rinse and repeat this process for the closing paragraph. By chaining these thoughts together, you maintain strict quality control over the whole shebang.
Section 4. Understanding AI limitations. Time to talk guardrails. Of course, knowing how to use AI also means knowing when not to trust it. Establishing these guardrails is a critical baseline skill for absolutely any beginner. There are 3 primary limitations you always need to keep in the back of your mind. First, biased training data. If an image generator is only trained on minimalist corporate graphics, it simply won't be able to produce bold, flashy, avant-garde designs. Second, cutoff dates. Many AI models stop learning at a specific date. If you ask them for analysis on a news event that happened yesterday, they won't have the source data to give you an accurate answer. And finally, hallucinations. This is when the AI confidently outputs information that is straight up, factually inaccurate. So the crucial point is understanding the stakes of your task. Sometimes a hallucination is actually a feature, not a bug. If you're doing a low-stakes task like brainstorming wild, out-of-the-box marketing ideas, a weird AI hallucination might spark a sudden burst of creativity. But for high-stakes tasks, like asking the AI what sort of health supplement or vitamin you should take for a serious medical condition, a hallucination is a dangerous bug that perpetuates false information. You must unconditionally double-check the AI's answers when the stakes are high, for sure.
Finally, Section 5, the final verdict. Now for the big question, is Google's AI Essentials course actually worth your time and effort if you want to master these basics? Well, you are learning directly from established Google experts, not just some random person on the internet. And this brilliantly illustrates one of the best parts of the course, the teaching style. As a visual learner, the analogies they use are fantastic. For instance, they explain the difference between AI models and AI tools by comparing them to a car. The AI model is the engine. It provides the underlying raw capabilities and horsepower. But the AI tool is the car itself, the steering wheel, the seats, the interface that actually helps you comfortably complete your journey. It makes complex tech incredibly accessible. Breaking it down, here's exactly who this course is and isn't for. It's fantastic for true beginners, visual learners, and job seekers who want a legitimate certificate to show prospective employers. The graded assignments actually require you to pay attention to pass. However, it is not for advanced users who are already using tools like ChatGPT daily. The real-world examples in the course can be just a bit too vague for power users. For instance, they mention a company using AI to decrease customer service response times, but they don't really explain how they train the workers or how they grounded the data to prevent those hallucinations in customer interactions. If you want deep workflow dives, you might find it lacking. Which leaves us with this final thought to ponder. We've seen how to prompt, how to chain our thoughts, and how to spot those tricky hallucinations. But as these AI tools inevitably handle more and more of your daily workflow, how are you going to adapt to your own critical thinking? How will you ensure that you remain the one driving the car, rather than just letting the engine drive you? It's an absolutely essential question for the modern workplace. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Take these skills, apply them, and I'll see you next time.